Hi, Claudia here from Create with Claudia. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today we're doing a nice fun block. It's a huge block. It's 18.5 inches. It's called the Sawtooth Star in a Star, and I really like this block. It's very graphic and it would stand really well on its own. Here it is. You can see it. Maybe over this side better. Just a really nice big block. I really like this one. I did this one all in purples. If you are joining with me on the 2021 Stars of the Prairie Mystery Quilt, this is the July block. And again, it's called the Sawtooth Star in a Star. It's hard to say. And it measures about 18.5 inches square. But again, if you're not quilting along with us on our mystery quilt, no worries. This makes a great little wall hanging. I really like this piece. If you are interested in the mystery quilt, this is a free mystery quilt. You can join in at any time. And if you watch the tutorial at the end of it, I'll just tell you how many blocks of this we need to make for this month. As always, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. I always love new subscribers. Thank you so much. And I am on social media at Create with Claudia, where I post things daily. So thanks so much for stopping by and enjoy the video. All right, so here is this Sawtooth Star in a Star. It's an 18.5 inch block. Great block, nice on its own or in part of a quilt like we're doing on the quilt, or the mystery quilt, excuse me. I just think it's a really nice, sort of very graphic block. And even though it looks kind of tricky, it does have its tricky parts. It's actually pretty easy to piece along. And as usual, I don't know if that's my new signature style, a lot of half square triangles. So first off, let me tell you how much fabric you're going to need to make one of these 18.5 inch Sawtooth Star in a Star blocks. For the background fabric, which is in my case this pale green, I've been using this throughout my mystery quilt. You can use whatever you want. In this case, it's this stripy purple. You need 1/3 of a yard. For fabric A, which in my case is this gold wave, and that equates to these sort of light purple polka dot bigger triangles here, you need a fat 1/4. For fabric B, which is this lighter yellow with a little bit of swirling, almost like a paisley, maybe a little bit of a paisley, and that equates to this dark purple, you're going to need a fat 1/8. From fabric C, which equates to these light purple here, these light purple squares, I'm using a dark purple in the block, you'll need a fat 1/8. And finally, for fabric D, which is that center square, you just need a 5-inch center square. That's it. Nice and easy. And now I'm going to tell you how to cut all this fabric. So from the background fabric, you're going to need 4 squares cut 5 by 5, like so. 4 squares cut 5 3/4, and that's again from the background fabric. 4 squares 5 inches and 4 squares 5 3/4 inches. From fabric A, you need 4 squares cut 5 3/4 inches. From fabric B, you need 4 squares cut 2 3/4 inches. And then you need 4 squares cut 3.5 inches. From fabric C, you're going to need 4 squares cut 3.5 inches. And last but not least, from fabric D, 1 square cut 5 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make half square triangles. If you already know how to do this, go ahead and skip ahead. The way I do it is I pair up the same size. I make 2 at a time, and I'm just going to show you really quickly. That way it'll make you decide if you want to skip ahead. You put them face right sides together. Draw a line down the back of one of them diagonally, so 1/4 inch along each side, and then you cut them in half, and then you trim them down to the size you need, and I'll let you know what size they're trimmed down to. So like I said, you can go ahead and skip ahead if you want to do that. I'm going to show you really quickly how to make those half square triangles. Alrighty, so like I said, we're making some half square triangles today. And I'm going to put this up, the items that we don't need, I'm going to put those aside for right now. And then you're going to pair up the squares that are the same size. So the 5 3/4 with the 5 3/4 of the background with the 5 3/4 of the fabric A, and likewise with fabric B and fabric C. And then what we're going to do is on the lighter side of each of the squares, we're going to draw a diagonal line. And let me get my bigger ruler for this one, if I can find it. Hopefully I brought it. Yep, here we go. And just line up our ruler and draw a diagonal line on the back. Now, I'm going to say I would not normally use pencil because pencil doesn't often come out, but for purposes of this video, I'm using pencil so you can see it nice and dark on just one of these. I'm going to repeat it a couple times. There you go. Hopefully you can see the line. And what I'm going to do then, to make a half square triangle, and these are the larger ones, of course, right sides together, we're going to line those up. So they're all even, and then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch down each side of that line. So I'm going to take that over to my machine, and I'll be right back to show you that. So here you can see it, hopefully. I always use the light thread, and I know I like to use light thread, but you can see I've sewn a 1/4 inch down each side of that drawn line. And the next thing I'm going to do is take my rotary cutter and split it in half. On that drawn line. So you're going to take your rotary cutter, line up your ruler on that drawn line. Split it in half, and then we're going to press it open like so. See how now I have 2 half square triangles. I'm going to repeat that with all of them, and that includes the 3.5 inch squares, and then I'm going to trim all of them down. But I'll show you first how I come up with all of them, and you'll see them in a minute. Okay, so here they are. They're cut in half, and I pressed them all open. I did that with the smaller ones too, and now we just have to trim them down. The larger squares, the larger half square triangles, we're going to cut down to 5 inches square, excuse me. And to do that, you're going to need a ruler with a diagonal line. I love this ruler. And you need your rotary cutter, which I set aside and cannot find. And then you're going to line up. In fact, let me zoom in the camera a little bit. Okay, you're going to take your ruler with the diagonal line and line that diagonal line up against that seam. And we're going to do our first cut is on this corner, so you want to make it larger than the size you want, so 5 inches. So this is about 5.25 inches, and you can see it's not exactly square. That's why I like this method, because you can square it up. Take your rotary cutter and cut along this corner. And then trim that away. All right, push that away. There's your nice starting corner. And then what we're going to do is line up. This is where you want that 5 inch point. There's your 5 inch measurement there. So you're going to measure it. You're going to line it up on 3 different corners. This one, excuse me, and then bumped it out of place there. And then that one right along the center. And that's 5 inches. And then you're going to trim. And there you go. There's your square, 5 inches. And you're going to repeat that with all of the large ones. And then, so I have one more to cut here. Now on the smaller ones, I already cut them down. They are going to be trimmed down to 2 3/4 inches. So again, the large ones are going to be trimmed down to 5 inches. The small ones down to 2 3/4 inches. All right, so now we're going to lay this out. So let's get all of our little pieces, and that includes those squares we did. And then we're going to start laying it out. Okay, so here it is laid out. There are a lot of little pieces here. The first thing you want to do, let me spread this out just a little bit so you can see it better. Well, you want to make sure these are laying the right way, number one. There we go, that's better. The first thing you're going to want to do is piece this center part. And what you're going to do is you're going to piece up these 4 up here first, like so. Then you're going to piece, sticking here, these 2 units together, okay? And then you're going to piece these together, and then you're going to have, and then once these 2 are pieced, you're going to sew them to each side of this one. And I'm going to do that and show you, but I'm going to take all my pieces over to the machine. But the first section we want to sew together is that center section, and then we'll add the outside larger pieces. Okay, so you can see where I have sewn together this strip, and this strip. And then I'm going to piece this together so you'll have basically a simple Sawtooth Star block. And then what I'm going to do is the same thing on the outside. So I will piece together this strip here. Once this unit is done, I'll attach these 2 here. Sew these together first and then attach them here. And then again sew this bottom strip together. And then I will show you the completed block. But actually what I'll do is I'll show you once all the strips are sewn together, and then one more step, and then I'll show you the completed block. Okay, almost done here. I had patience with this one. It has a lot more parts than the others, but it comes together so nicely. It really is a striking block. Here it is. I've done this row. I sewed these 2 together and then added them to the center block, the center Sawtooth Star, excuse me, and then I sewed this one together. The last thing I need to do is add this row to this row and this row to the center, and then this block will be done. Woohoo! And then I will compare it again to this other one. It's so pretty. I love it in all the different colors. And then after that, stick around if you're joining me on the 2021 Stars of the Prairie mystery quilt, and I'll let you know how many of these we need to make for this month. Alrighty, here it is finished. It's my Sawtooth Star in a Star block, and this is just lovely. I love it. It's 18.5 inches square. You can use it on your own, put it in another quilt. You would only need to make a few of these to make a fairly large size quilt because it is such a jumbo sized block. Make sure to stick around if you're here for the mystery quilt. That is a free mystery quilt that goes on all year long. You can join it at any time. I post a new block every month, and in December we put it all together. And this year we're making a larger lap size quilt. So if you're here for the mystery quilt, this is the block, and we're only making one of them this month. It's pretty easy. In fact, from now on, pretty much we're going to be making one of them. We're going to be making one of these this size for the rest of the year. All right, so we're finished with our July mystery quilt block, or just the Sawtooth Star in a Star. You can use it in the mystery quilt or for however you want to use it. I actually might keep my purple one and make that like a little mini quilt for my wall. I really like the way that one turned out, my tester block. But here is the finished product. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, let me step back a little bit. Love those yellows and purples. If you are in the mystery quilt, you'll know that green, that light green background is what I've been going with the whole time. Let me show you one more time the tester block. Here's how it turned out. Never ceases to amaze me how different blocks look with different fabrics. Don't forget, you can get this pattern for this block, this 18.5 inch Sawtooth Star block, on my website, www.createwithclaudia. There's a free pattern, a free tutorial, and a free downloadable pattern as well. I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. I always love new subscribers. Thank you so much, and I am on social media at Create with Claudia. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.